everyone, and welcome to Smart Leisure AI. We all know the story accounting hasn't fundamentally changed in 500 years. Founders and the teams still spends hours wrestling with the manual bookkeeping. We exist so the you to run the business, not your bookkeeping. Today, I am going to show how a Smart Leisure AI acts as your all-in-one accounting engine and built-in AI financial consultant, turning a simple text into full financial statement instantly. So let's dive in. First of all, we have to create our account. So let's create an account. So first insert the name. So my name is Sumit. So we have to add our email address. So adding the email address abc@gmail.com. So we have to give some password, and the password should generally strong. Weak password is generally not accepted in the website, so we will create a strong password. So we will create an account. Yes, a pop-up box has came, that is account is created. We have to create a company in the Smart Leisure AI. Let's create a company. So we will give a name for a company as A B C Trading Company. Yes, our company has been created. If we want to add the GST number, we can add by inserting the GST number, also the state code of our GST number. This is the basically a dashboard where we can see all the transaction effects, that is today's revenue, today's expense, monthly profit, cash in bank, cash in hand, receivables, payables, financial health, as well as what much of assets the company owes, next net fixed asset, outstanding loans, interest payable, annual depreciation, as well as it gives the graph trends of revenue and expense, profit trends, cash flow trends, asset growth, etc. Once we add the transaction of the business in this ledger software, we can get to know about the all these features which are been highlighted here. So now let's add the transaction of a business. So when we start a business, we generally introduce some of the capital in order to start a business. So we will add a capital by searching on the capital introduced. Yes, capital option, where we can see the capital introduced. Once we tap on the particular transaction we want to add, the automatically which account is to be debited and which account is to be credited is automatically done by the Smart Leisure AI. Now let's insert the amount of the capital. So let's say the capital is introduced of 1 lakh. So once we insert the amount, the real time effect or the preview of what entries are to be done in the journal financial statements is generally highlighted here. If we want, we can add the narration, and it is optional. If we doesn't add, the narration is automatically created. So let's add the entry. Yes, the transaction is added. So we can see here down also the transaction is also added. So we have introduced the capital. Now to trade or exchange the goods and service, we have to purchase the goods. So let's say we purchase the goods here. So in the purchase category, we will select the cash purchase. Yes, once we select the cash purchase, which account is to be debited and which account is to be credited is automatically done. So let's insert the amount. we had done the cash purchase of rupees 50,000. Yes, here we can add the additional details like the vendor name, the credit period, the net term payment terms, as well as the due dates. Also, we can add the GST which we receive on the goods which we have been purchased. So we can set the GST that 12%, 5%, 18%, whichever we are being charged. So once we select the GST upon amount percent, the automatically the smart ledger calculates the taxable value. What would be the CGST, what would be the SGST, what would be the total tax. All the value are being calculated automatically by the smart ledger AI. Also, it gives the real time impact preview of the posting of the accounts. So let's add the cash purchase. Yes, our transaction has been added successfully. So we have done the purchase. So we would do some of the sales. So let's say we have done a sales of rupees 85,000. 85,000. So if we want to add on GST, we can just click on button, or if we doesn't want GST details, or we doesn't want to apply the GST, just on clicking this button the GST will be not applied. So we will add the GST. So it also gives the real-time effect of what a preview about the transaction which has been entered. So let's add. Yes, our transaction has been added successfully. So we are running a business, small business. So we have to pay some of the rent or some of the indirect taxes like electricity bill, rent. So generally add some of the indirect taxes. So let's add some indirect taxes. Yes, in the expense option we can add on the tax. matlab, we can add on the means expense which which are incurred in the business. So let's take an electricity bill of rupees, let's take 1,000. Yes, so we will add this. Yes, our transaction has been added. So we have to pay some of the rent. Let's say where we are carrying out our business, we have to pay some of the rent. So just take the rent bill. So we have paid a rent of rupees near about to 5,000. Yes, add. So we have entered plenty of transaction. Yes, so let's see what the effects in the journal, ledger, and the statements happens. AI also offers one of the features for entering the transaction, that is AI bookkeeper. Just by writing the transaction in one sentence, it can automatically do the posting of your transaction. So let's add on the transaction like we purchased goods from Priya Traders for 10 for 1,000. Yes, so just by writing the transaction in one sentence, so we can add on the transaction. So let's analyze the transaction. The AI will automatically analyze the transaction and give you the proper journal entry, that is purchase account debit 1,000 to creditors, being goods purchased from Priya Traders on credit. Yeah, so post to the books. Yes, posted to the books, journal, ledger, trial balance, profit and loss, and all the financial statements. Yes, the entry is been recorded successfully in all the books. Further coming to next feature, that is invoice reader. So here by inserting the invoice, we can also add on the transaction. So we have to choose by clicking on, we can choose the file. Yes, this is the invoice which has been preloaded by me. So here I inserted the image, the invoice to the Smart Ledger AI. It automatically will extract all the fields of the of the invoice and post the transaction. Let's see, extract field. Yes, the Smart Ledger AI has automatically read the invoice and enter and extracted all the information from the invoice. That is the vendor, GST number, invoice date, taxable value, GST rate, total GST, total amount. Yes. So by just on clicking on generate entry, the transaction will be entered. The purchase entry posted. So it is one of the feature where through the invoice we can add on the entry. Coming to next feature, that is audit intelligence. Audit intelligence is an automated review of the rules about the books on the basis of which the transactions are to be recorded. On the transactions which are being entered by us, that is 13 transactions we have entered. Out of that, the this feature has given that 3 transactions are of high risk. It also provides the rules which are violating by entering that transaction and also suggests the routes to fix the risk which has been incurred. So here we can see that first a high risk large cash transaction, as we have introduced the cash of 1 lakh rupees. Uh, but according to the section 40A3, this allows risk, means the cash should not exist about 20,000. If the cash exists about the 20,000, it should be done through bank. So it has suggested the fix that route through bank written proof it unavoidable. So this feature of Smart Ledger AI provides the mistakes which are being done while entering the transaction, and also suggests the suggestion to fix the mistakes which are generally done. Now coming to the next feature, that is adjustment. If the user or the business entity forgot to add the entries during the accounting period and needed to add in the journal, ledger, or the financial statement, just by coming on this option or the feature, they can add on the entries which they forgot during to add during the financial year. Next feature, that is journal. Journal option offers the journal entries of all the transactions which have been entered in the transaction option. Here are the all the journal entries about the transaction we have entered earlier. This journal book we can also download in the form of Excel, also in the form of PDF. Yes. Now coming to the next option, that is ledger. It also creates the ledger accounts of the transaction which are being entered by us. So these are all the ledger accounts which are needed by the business to find out the debit and credit balance. So this also we can download in the form of Excel and the PDF. Now the main part, that is trial balance, on the basis of which the balance sheet to find out the profit and loss, also profit and loss accounts are being created. So this is the trial balance of the transactions which are being entered. Yes, this also we can download in the form of Excel and PDF. Yes, now the main part, to find out the either the business is in profit or loss, this account will help, that is the profit and loss account. So let's move to the profit and loss account. Yes, yes, This is the profit and loss account. Here we can get to know the gross profit as well as the net profit or loss. Here in this case we had a gross profit of 2181 and net profit of net loss of 3818 as per the transaction which we have earlier entered. And today total revenue of all the transaction is 72033. Yes, so this also the user or the business entity can download in the form of Excel and PDF. So moving towards the balance sheet, which helps the business to find out the financial position. So let's click on balance sheet. Yes, so this is the balance sheet. So yes, from this the user can find out the financial position of the business, that how much liabilities and the how much assets the business is currently owing. So this also the business entity can download in the form of Excel and PDF. So coming down to the next feature, that is cash flow. Cash flow is a feature which helps business to find out how much of operating cash, investing and financing cash generally the business has done, the cash flow that a business has done. Yes, these are the operating activities: sales inflow, purchase outflow, about the GST also, investing activities, financial activities, what is the closing cash plus bank, net cash exchange. All the cash flow are being inputted here to find the business, to make the easier for the business entity to find how much cash flow the business has generally done in the particular period. This also the business entity can download in the form of Excel or PDF. Now coming down to the final account. The final account is generally the option which is been generally provided to the business entity to find out the trial balance, profit and loss account, balance sheet and cash flow in one window. Yes, it generally provides all the accounts statements in uh, one window, about the profit and loss account, what is the balance sheet, what is the cash flow statement, about the trial balance in one window. Now coming down to GST Center, this is the feature which is being provided by the Smart Ledger AI to find the total GST, that is which how much amount is total input GST, output GST, how much amount is payable to the government by the business entity. Also it also highlights the GST health score. Further coming to the next option, that is AI validation. AI validation is generally a AI validation engine which generally provides which generally run before finalizing the accounts. Means it generally checks that all the transactions are done, calculation is been done accurately or not. If there is any mistake, it generally highlights here about the changes which should be done in order to improve the efficiency of the business. Now coming down to the next feature, that is year end wizard. Year end wizard is nothing but the feature which is generally used at the year end by the business entity to add any depreciation, to add the depreciation to the real asset, all the registered asset, or any unpaid expense at the year end. This all, if any transaction occurs at the year end, this is generally used. Year end wizard feature is generally used. Just on clicking on any of the below option or checkbox, you can add any amount, that is any interest incurred, any prepaid expense, any unpaid expense at the year. You can generally add at the year end if you forgot to add in the transaction. Then comes the most important feature, that is fixed asset. If the business only wants to find out the depreciation on the asset which has been purchased by them, so using this feature they can find out. So just on clicking on add asset, we can add on the asset. So let's take the purchase of an asset. So let's we purchase an asset, plant and machinery for the business. So cost, just take as 1 lakh rupees of 1 lakh rupee machinery we purchased. Generally, residual value, that is scrap value, we will take 10,000 rupees. And let's take the useful life to 10 years. Yes. So it also provides the four methods, that is straight line method, written down value method, double declining balance method, and unit of production method. So these are the methods of the depreciation which a smart ledger offers to the user. So we will take straight line method or we will take written down method. When you click on written down method, we can also provide the rate of depreciation which we want to charge on the asset, or else it automatically calculates on the residual value and the useful life which is been provided by the user. So let's save the assets. Yes, our asset is been added and it provides the depreciation for the asset. So asset registered, so accumulated, so depreciation schedule. Yes, it also provides how much depreciation will be deducted from our value. First year depreciation would be 20,000, yearly 20,000. Second year depreciation would be nearly 16,000. As the year goes, the depreciation would be changed for the business. At the year end, the balance will be 10,000. Accordingly, the depreciation will be charged. It also provides the total value of the assets at the time of purchase, current book value, accumulated depreciation, and annual depreciation for this year. Fire, it also provides the fire forecast about 2027, how much will be the annual depreciation, what will be total book value, etc. Yes, it provides for all the years. So this is the feature where the user can find out the depreciation for the asset. Coming to the next feature, that is monthly. Monthly is the feature which provides the monthly expense and the revenue of the business. It also provides the profit trend in a graphical format as well as the revenue and the expense in the graphical format, which helps the business to understand the profit and the expense of the business easily. Now, coming to the next function or the feature, that is forecast. Forecast is one of the beneficial feature which helps the business to find out in this month how much profit has been done, how much would be in the best case, and the risk, how much sales would be done expected, how much sales would be done in the best case, and also calculate the risk of further months. It also calculates the next quarter revenue and expected next quarter revenue as well as expected next year cash flow. All these are based on the exception about the this year's sales. Coming to the next feature, that is benchmarking. Benchmarking is generally the option which is been provided by Smart Ledger AI, which compares your business with the average business in the society. So how much gross profit should average retailer should have, and how much gross profit your business have. It provides all the ratios in a graphical format, which helps the business to know their business standing within other average retailers. Coming to the next function, that is AI advisor. Yes, this AI advisor act like your AICA, which provides you the strength, weaknesses of your business and provides you the strategies and the action plan which you can adopt in order to increase the efficiency, productivity, profitability of your business. So let's generate an AI insight which will provide you the strength, weaknesses as well as the action plan. Yes, here it has provided you the growth score, that is solid profitability and strong cash position, but revenue concentration is a key risk. It also provides you where you are lacking, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. It also provides a summary of your transaction which you have been provided. It also provides an action plan for the first month, second month, third month in order to improve the efficiency. So these all were the features which were be provided by the Smart Ledger AI to the user, which would help them to conduct their accounting in more efficient way. So yes, now our dashboard is been properly completed because we have entered the transaction, expenses, monthly profit, all the amounts are being properly filled, and it also provides all the assets growth, or if we can say revenue versus expense, profit trend, cash flow trend in a graphical format, which helps the business to understand the statements and the position very easily. Coming to most interesting part of Smart Ledger AI accounting, that is to communicate directly with the Smart Ledger. Yes, you can communicate directly with the Smart Ledger by just on clicking the option Ask Smart Ledger. Yes, just on clicking on this option, you can talk in with the Smart Ledger. Yes, the Smart Ledger can talk in any language. As the resident of India, as from any part of the India, the person can talk in their mother tongue. For example, if I want to talk with Smart Ledger Assistant in Hindi, only by typing or searching the Hindi, it will provide all the information in the Hindi. So this will provide the one of the benefit to the user to use the Smart Ledger AI. Stop fighting your spreadsheet. Let Smart A Ledger AI do the heavy lifting so you can focus on scaling. It's bank grade security, Mac level simplicity, and Gemini powered intelligence all in one place. Click the link below to start your free trial today, or drop your email to book a one-to-one demo with our team. Close your books in minutes, not weeks. Have a great day.